Welcome to our 5 on 5. Please be joined today by Dr. Alan Ledford, the new Executive Director of OnTrack. Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So you're the former Clinical Director at Kairos, now taking over OnTrack in a turbulent time. What are your top priorities?
Top priorities are structuring the management team first, looking at the clinical work that we do. It's also high priority. We need to get folks in place and move forward.
Okay, and what, if any, changes do you foresee? I mean, you may have mentioned some of them right there.
Well, there needs to be we've hired a new HR director, we've hired a finance director, we've looked at we're hiring in a clinical director, we're looking for a quality assurance professional to come in to be able to look at how we're doing, how the quality of our work is, whether we're meeting the standards for the state licensing and certification. We also are looking at bringing in a consultant to look at Joint Commission or CARF accreditation. So that'll be a process that's a higher level of accreditation and helps us rebuild our trust within the community. So those are the things we're planning on.
OnTrack recently voluntarily surrendered its license to operate a residential teen program. How soon can that reopen, and what do you need to see first?
6 months, and we need to see that we're meeting the standards for our clinical work throughout our system to make sure that we can meet the standards for a teen program. We also need to rebuild our relationship with Department of Health Services.
Some of the concerns outlined against OnTrack earlier this year from state agencies include inadequate heating, water leaking through walls, ceiling and floors, and black mold throughout the building, or I should say a building. OnTrack has a lot of assets. What are you doing to rebuild those facilities?
Most of those have been gone through by our maintenance manager and a team of folks and been rebuilt. We put all new heaters and air conditioners in those units. We have gone through, repainted, fixed any damage that was there. Basically, they look like new housing. So we've done all that. Those that aren't complete, we're going through. We have decided not to utilize the house on 5th and Holly for our own use. Well, I don't know what we'll do with that going forward. So the MOMS program's been gone through, or actually what's called the HOME program has been gone through, and we're ready to start just admitting a few folks so that we can start to rebuild that program.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
Not much more in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. We're going to hear with Dr. Alan Ledford, the new Executive Director of OnTrack. And you kind of, Alan, just before our break, you kind of referenced the MOMS program. Back in January, DHS placed a suspension on all new referrals to programs.
Correct.
The recent agreement will now allow you to bring in moms again to your home program.
Correct.
And that is already underway, is that right?
That will begin shortly.
Okay.
We have not yet done that. We've been going through doing some training for that staff, looking at our clinical documentation. Any final repairs have been done. So we're looking very shortly to bring in some folks to that program.
Okay. So maybe in a few weeks, perhaps?
It's really sort of up in the air.
Sure.
It just depends on what we need to look at. But throughout the system, we're taking a look at how we do our work and how we do our business. So that's a job that'll take a while, frankly.
OnTrack has been the subject of several complaints regarding the treatment of its employees. How do you go about rebuilding, or building, I should say, a new culture there?
Well, first, I think you have to just look at what the organization, how the organization functions, and I think you have to treat people well. You have to move toward a trauma-informed perspective, which assumes that all people have been traumatized, therefore you treat them well. And I think you just build it into your system that people have to learn that it's a safe place to work and a safe place to be. So that'll be a part of our transformation and what we do. We've already started some of that training, so we'll be looking to reinforce that over the next few months and the years to come.
Okay. I want to ask you a personal question. If I'm out of bounds, please tell me. I understand you yourself have battled addiction in your past. How does that help you in your career?
Well, I started out because of my own addiction. And somebody told me I ought to think about helping other people. And I thought, how do I do that? Plus, I wanted to make a difference in how we deliver care to folks. And I think throughout my career, I've been able to make a difference in that. And I know that I'm the expert in my life. I'm not the expert in other people's lives. And I think that is a sort of guiding principle for me, is to listen to people, see who they are. And I think my own recovery brings me to a place of understanding of how addiction works, of the struggles that people go through, and how we can make a difference in the world. And that's important to me. Helping others has always been an important part of my recovery process.
I appreciate you talking to me today. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Stay with us.